let's go into where the market is going. This is an important one. Well, they're all important, but all right. So where is ERP going? All right. So the big picture. So every major ERP vendor has made a significant announcement in the first half of this year, and they're all pointing in the same direction. Okay. ERP is moving from a system of record to a system of autonomous action. So the Copilot era is ending. So that is bolting a Copilot onto your ERP data, and the Copilot is the system of autonomous action. Agentic AI is the new battleground in the ERP space. So this matters to us, what we do, because the systems we're integrating with are changing underneath us. And the architecture decisions being made right now will determine how much control we have over our data in 2027 and beyond. So what is each player doing? So SAP at Sapphire 2026, they unveiled their autonomous suite, 224 agents, 51 assistants, and Joule Studio 2 is the build platform. Their strategic play, they'll become the AI governance and orchestration layer for all enterprise processes. The price of admission, our data stays inside SAP's ecosystem. So what you need to watch for is 2027 pricing on the agent gateway throughput, agent-to-agent consumption, and BDS egress. None of it has been published. It's free today, and it's priced to entrench tomorrow. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I use this information in a consulting agreement I just did, or consulting engagement. Oracle. So they're doing native agents, and they're not apologizing at all for lock-in. In fact, they're leading with it. So Oracle announced Fusion agentic applications in March and expanded them at the Oracle AI World Tour in April. These are not bolt-on add-ons. They are coordinated teams of AI agents embedded natively inside of Oracle Fusion, which is their cloud ERP. Okay. They have 12 new agentic apps across ERP and supply chain management, including cost accounting close workspace. So it targets manufacturing and inventory period close, and it's a way of getting period close done literally 1 minute after the month is over. Okay. Agents operate inside of Oracle's existing security framework, so it's role-based, approval hierarchies, fully auditable. Oracle's differentiator claim, they have native integration, means governance, data access, and execution are all tightly coupled. There is no external orchestration layer. So supply chain and manufacturing, they have 10 agentic apps in the 26th second release of 2026, including design to source workspace, sourcing command center, and cost accounting close. Oracle's approach is architecturally different from SAP's. So instead of restricting external access, Oracle is betting that agents deeply embedded in the transactional system are simply better. The lock-in is structural, not contractual. So what you need to watch for is Oracle's full stack position, which they haven't completely fully announced yet. So SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS may appeal to heavily regulated manufacturers who want single vendor accountability over flexibility. So based on just those first two statements, these are the two big players in all of the major industries. Who should you be recommending if you got to deal with SAP or Oracle?
It would then be Oracle because SAP is so hard to access that it's a pain in the butt just because of that.
Correct. Oracle is betting that you will just love their internal tools so much you won't want to use external tools, but they're not restricting you from using external tools. Okay. Microsoft Copilot becomes agentic and Dynamics gets smarter. By the way, if you ask me which ERP has seen the biggest explosion of adoption, it's Dynamics 365. I see more D365 wins in the ERP space than any other right now. So Microsoft's 2026 release wave is the clearest signal yet that Dynamics 365 is moving towards agentic ERP, so fully agentic. So 365 Business Central uses autonomous agents to automate accounts payable end to end. So read the invoice, match the vendor and account, and prepare for human approval. The human does the invoice, the human does the approval for the AP and AR. 365 Supply Chain Management, Supplier Communication Agent is introduced. So basically in supply chain management, they're using agents to communicate with suppliers, similar to the way that I'm using Vera to communicate with my team. They're using a very similar mechanism. Hannover Messe 2026, Microsoft showcased their agentic ERP, helping manufacturers replan faster and respond to demand shifts, supplier delays, and equipment downtime in real time. And then they probably have the best MCP support, which is why I think you're seeing the widest adoption. I think it also helps that people are already paying for 365 and it's just an add-on. So the 365 ERP MCP server lets partners build agents that extend ERP decision making into engineering change analysis, product recalls, and configure price quote workflows. Their strategic advantage, Copilot is already embedded across the productivity layer. So operation teams are already, when you land Copilot with Dynamics 365, it's the same Copilot that's talking to Outlook. So watch for Microsoft's open platform posture relative to SAP, make it a more natural integration target for UNS first architectures. MCP support is a signal worth watching. All right, Infor, quiet but relevant for mid-market manufacturing. Infor launched its agentic orchestrator at the end of last year. Infor's value proposition has always been vertical depth. They build for specific industries rather than trying to be all things to all customers. In mid-market manufacturing engagements, we're more likely to encounter Infor than Oracle or SAP. In fact, I would say Infor is the one I see the most in mid-market. The shift to agentic operations is happening there too. It just gets less coverage. Our Epicor had its 2026 conference in Nashville last month, and they made the most manufacturing-specific AI announcements of any vendor this cycle. This matters to our audience. Epicor Kinetic is one of the most common ERPs we encounter in discrete mid-market. The big headline is Epicor is repositioning Kinetic as a system of outcomes. It's ERP that doesn't just record what happened, but it'll take action on it. So they're basically doing this 3-layer agentic stack: Epicor Lux, Epicor Prism, and Prism Agent Foundry. And Foundry is a copy of what Palantir does. So the agentic design system, which is Lux, governs how both humans and AI agents interact with kinetic data. They enforce guardrails and they keep a human in the loop at critical decision points. Epicor Prism, the generative AI platform, a network of vertical AI agents built to work inside Epicor, not alongside it. Agents execute tasks and trigger actions within existing workflows. Prism Agent Foundry, a low-code workspace for partners and customers to build custom vertical agents grounded in their own plant data, process history, and institutional knowledge. It includes a launching Prism Agent marketplace. The big thing here is that Epicor is staying hyper-focused on open. Okay, so Epicor announced their headless ERP. So it's kinetic logic and data surface through APIs without requiring any standard interface. So agents, external tools, and AI platforms can interact with Epicor data through governed connections. Critically, Epicor has explicitly embraced MCP. A live demo showed a manufacturing persona running part substitution impact analysis through Claude connected to Kinetic and then creating a follow-up task in Profit 21 through ChatGPT. That's the opposite of SAP's API policy. Epicor officially announced that the release 2028 will be the final on-prem version of Kinetic. Okay. And the big thing that you got to look out for with Epicor is pricing hasn't been settled on AI. So 3 themes that across all these companies. Agentic operations isn't the future. It's happening right now. It's just on the, the turn has just happened. So you're going to see it more and more and more. Okay. If you're a manufacturer, you're going to see your company introducing it. If you're an integrator, you're going to see more and more end users asking you to do these integrations. And obviously, the big lesson that if you're an integrator, you need to take away here is if you are not doing SAP integration directly, okay, and that is you're not an SAP partner, and you are not doing Infor integrations directly, then your 2 best options in the ERP space are going to be Oracle for the enterprises and Epicor for everyone else, outside of Odoo, obviously. So you really want to see Epicor, you really want to see Oracle. More and more and more, under the current criteria, SAP is going to become more and more problematic. All right. So what should we be aware of in our work? What's the issue with Odoo? I mean, you're not going to run Pepsi with Odoo. Is there an issue with Odoo up through mid-market? Not at all. I would say honestly, you want to know what the biggest issue with Odoo is? It's a good question. Functionally, there's no issue. You can build basically any feature. I like Odoo a lot. I'm a big fan. I certainly wouldn't recommend Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Toyota use Odoo. However, when it comes to mid-market discrete manufacturers, I think it's the choice. Here's the issue. Odoo doesn't restrict you from adding users. They just charge you. So when you're calculating total cost of ownership, as you give more and more people access to Odoo, they charge you for those users at the end of that month. And removing that user isn't nearly as easy as adding it to your license, I mean. But Odoo is not appropriate for this discussion because I'm really gearing this discussion towards enterprises. And I want to say what we should be aware of, and I'm going to walk you through an example. So if we're integrating ERP today, understand which AI agent pathways that vendor approves and which ones they don't. So that's going to be happening in your fact finding. Okay? What are the pathways to connect agents to ERP data? Design integrations that extract data to a governed downstream source rather than calling ERP APIs directly from an AI workflow. Because this is what your customer is going to get in trouble for. But you also need to understand the fear of getting in trouble for this is going to cause IT departments at the end users to overshoot and basically restrict access to any ERP data under this argument. They already want to restrict access. Now you're just giving them another mechanism for it. The UNS gives us a vendor agnostic abstraction layer. ERP vendor policy changes don't affect what's already in our namespaces. As long as we're not using an agent using the UNS to trigger the call. So if we're advising on ERP selection, ask vendors directly about their AI agent access policies and get it in writing. Understand the 2027, 2028 pricing model before committing to any free AI tooling today. Evaluate openness. Can our chosen AI tools access this ERP, or do we have to use the vendors? And for Epicor customers specifically, if you're on-prem, the 2028.1 sunset is not a rumor. Start your cloud migration conversation now. If we're building for agentic operations, the prerequisite for any of this working is clean, contextualized real-time data. No ERP vendors, AI agents can deliver value on bad data. The UNS is part of how we solve that. The integration layer we build today becomes the data foundation for the autonomous operations. All right. This is kind of the line that you guys want to remember. The vendors are racing to become the AI layer for enterprise ops. Some of what they're building is genuinely useful, especially what Epicor is building, I think. But whoever owns the AI layer owns the interpretation of the business data. So we need to build our architecture so that the data itself belongs to us, not the interpretation engine sitting on top of it.